I want to watch this video with you because it's very interesting what he
Yes.
said. Cardone is somebody that's very followed in the real estate world. I know a lot of young people that want to invest in commercial real estate and they want to start. They come to me, and that's the guy that they're talking about. Oh, I saw Grant Cardone. That's he said this and that. So I wanted to kind of like opinionate a little bit on what he said. And
Yeah, very dynamic guy. I like Grant Cardone, but I don't know if we're gonna like what he says.
let's take a look here.
Let's watch.
All right.
Buyers and sellers alike feeling a massive struggle to close deals or
Real
make
estate
money.
struggles.
And if you need yet another sign of turmoil, 45% of U.S. real estate agents are struggling to pay rent on their offices. Here to react is private equity fund manager and real estate investor Grant Cardone. Welcome, Grant.
She called him Cardone.
Okay.
Hold on.
And agents not
I
able
wanted
pay
to
the
go
rent.
over that real quick. Grant Cardone, like, come on, lady. This is like, let me tell you, man, they do this in the news all the time.
know.
Especially when it's live. Like, do your homework.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Grant Cardone, that is
I mean-
hilarious. I heard it and I'm like, there's no way. Unless his name is mentioned in two ways. Should he have said, is Grant Cardone?
If I was Grant Cardone, probably.
I think I would have done that.
I mean, first
I
of all,
don't care
he
what
is-
news station
He's very
you're
well
at.
known, Carlos. I mean,
Right.
like he's not Johnny off the
Come
street.
on, man. I think these people need to do better.
Now,
Come on.
now, if
And-
you're not Grant Cardone, and I came in your studio and I said Carlos Rojas or
right,
something like
which
that,
has happened.
which has happened. Yeah, it's like, okay, do I let it go or not? I'm not super famous.
Well, I
right?
can simply say, hey, it's Rojas, man. Don't ruin my
That's-
name. I can joke
that's not
around with it.
offensive.
We don't have to be,
People call me
offensive or rude.
Kato all the time, and I'm like,
Kato.
I'm not Eric Gatto.
Frank Cotto.
Yeah, it's Kodo. It's Kodo. It's not that hard. All right, so
Oh,
Mr.
man.
Grant Cardone, what's up?
Oh, man. That's all right,
That was
let's keep
hilarious. We
watching
both
here.
caught that right away.
Yeah. All right, let me put it back.
Yeah, put it back.
Owners and agents not able to pay the rent. What is going on?
Well, because, Rachel, the Fed single-handedly has killed the housing market. The Fed will make more renters in this country in the next 2 years than it has in the last 50, because mortgage applications are at all-time lows. Mortgages are double what rent is today.
All right,
And it
let's take a
doesn't
break right there.
surprise me
Hold
that-
on. So, okay, I got my own opinion, so I want to
Okay.
hear yours first.
So the first thing he said, first of all, I thought of something. He should have said, "Okay, Rachelli."
Who's that?
He
Oh,
should've-
yes.
That
That's
would have
the
been a
best
funny
one.
way
Okay,
to get her back.
Rachelli.
Okay,
Yeah.
Rachelli. And then she would have
That's
been
a
like,
good one.
"Oh." So anyway, we love having fun on the show
Yeah,
too, guys.
yeah,
So the Fed killed the real estate market. I would agree. I don't think it's just the Fed, but I what he's saying there is by them jacking the rates up so high so fast, they literally put a stop sign on the real estate market. And that I've never seen. I've been in business 24 years in this market. I've never seen it move that quickly. So I agree. And they thought they were doing it to curb inflation, which we can talk about. But what's your opinion?
Well, I agree with you. That's very well said. At the same time, I don't know that what he said about creating renters more for the next 2 years. I don't agree with that line specifically. I do feel like as fast as the rates went up, I have a feeling that they're gonna be coming back down. And you know what? When they were in the fives, people kept buying.
Yeah.
So I think if they get back somewhere around the fives, people are gonna go ahead and keep buying.
100% agree.
So I don't think for the next 2 years we're going to be having more renters. Like
I think he was flawed in what he said. He was specifically said that mortgages are twice as expensive as rents. I mean, you see what I see. That's not true.
Yeah, that's
rents.
not true.
Rents went through the roof at the same time mortgages did. Now they're checking back a little bit.
I would say that right now they're a little bit cheaper.
They are a little cheaper.
I've seen a little bit of differentials, and as realtors, that doesn't necessarily help us. I mean, I do have a rental portfolio of people that I help, but the point is that it doesn't matter. You still want to be a homeowner.
Right.
To me, being the homeowner is the key. Now,
if you're a renter, you're still paying a mortgage, by the way.
Right. So it's not like it's that big of a difference too. It's like maybe $100, maybe a couple hundreds in the $300,000 range. If you're talking about more expensive houses like the $1 million houses, you could save in rent right now around $1,000.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, if you could buy $1 million house, why would you rent one? That makes no sense in my head.
If you can get qualified to buy, why would you ever rent? You've got to understand you are still paying a mortgage. You are just paying the landlord's mortgage.
right.
So Carlos and I love it when you pay our mortgages, by the way.
Right. It's like paying interest only. Right?
It is.
You're never gonna pay the equity down. You know,
You
maybe
own
you're paying
nothing.
a little bit more now, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna refinance at the right time. You're gonna choose to buy at another time, and you gotta calculate the amount of money that you lost during that rental period.
You are literally taking the money, putting it in the trash can right next to you.
Yeah.
When instead you could be putting it in your savings account called your mortgage.
Right.
Right. And then you're also building equity.
That's right.
Let's hear more.
All right, let's keep watching Cardone.
Real estate agents are feeling the brunt of this. Back in June of 22, Jerome Powell said that the middle class, everyday people would disproportionately feel the pain of higher interest rates in his attempt to control inflation. He has not controlled inflation. He has failed miserably. What he has actually done is create it and, in the meantime, stop the housing industry.
What would you recommend he do?
Well, what he should do is get out of the way. There's no time in history in my lifetime that the Fed actually controlled interest rates. Supply and demand is what controls interest rates. As long as people are spending their money, that means they want that product or service. At what point it gets to a price where I no longer find it valuable, I will no longer continue to purchase that.
What you think about that?
So what they're saying, because people have asked me this a million times, is the Fed's decision to curb inflation. They thought that they could create prices so high, so fast that people would stop buying. Let me ask you a very important question, the same one I ask everybody. Have you ever met a typical American who doesn't spend money, who won't keep spending money? Not often. No, we spend money.
Yeah.
So what he said is accurate in the sense of he won't spend money on something when he feels the price is too high. The Fed tried to drive the price of everything from mortgages to rent to eggs,
Car payments,
everything so high that people would stop spending. But the Fed forgets that Americans don't stop spending. Right. So we are still spending through inflation. Okay, some people will stop, yes, but most of us keep spending through inflation. We just start spending more. So that's what he's talking about. The market will dictate, supply and demand will dictate. But when the Fed steps in, they curb the supply and demand. They get in between us.
Yeah.
Right. So I disagree that you can increase cost and rates to curb inflation the way that they wanted to do it. The market would have done it on its own.
Yeah. I mean, besides that, I want to say, yeah, real estate agents are feeling it. I felt it in the last, 3-4 months.
Oh, I feel it.
You got to adjust, first off. And second off, all these realtors that are falling off the tree, basically, opens up for a whole bunch of new realtors that may want to come into the business.
That is what he's saying. He's talking about the market will dictate, just like in the crash that I went through in 2008. Okay. And the federal government came in and they bailed out all the banks. They don't say it, but they say it. It was a mistake. They did not need to come in and bail out all the banks because guess what? The market will, if Bank of America goes down, they're going to get bought by another bank. Their assets are going to get taken over. Things are going to correct themselves naturally. We didn't have to add trillions of dollars to the national debt because it would have happened already.
Right. Good point. All right, let's keep watching here.
But we keep doing it.
People want homes. People want to live in a single family home. I don't personally think it's a great investment.
All right, right there. Let's go ahead and pause it right there. Okay. He doesn't think it's a great investment. I appreciate your opinion, Greg Cardone, but look, guys, we just gave you a lot of reasons why you should be buying a house, okay?
Right.
So, especially right now, out of all the time, guys, I've had listings that I had to put the prices down more than I've ever wanted to. It's uncomfortable to talk to the sellers about bringing their prices down. It's uncomfortable talking to them about get that offer because you're not going to get a better one. That's right now. So if you want a good deal, if you want closing costs, there's no better time than right now. How long is this going to last? Personally, I think middle January, things are going to be changing a lot. I mean, just now, between 3 weeks, we're seeing interest drops. On top of that, we got new buyers that are going to be coming in right out of the holidays that have not been buying. And everybody that decided to, you know what, I'm not going to buy, they're going to start coming out at the beginning of the year. And towards the middle of the year, it's going to be,
So
hectic.
listen, it's already happened. And I hope this is sustainable, what I'm about to tell everybody. But I gauge the status of the market by two things. How many loan applications do we get, right? Pre-approval people.
Okay.
And 2, how many go into contract? This week is the first time in 6 months, 8 months that I have disclosed and put into contract and into underwriting what I would consider our normal business amount, our correct amount. Okay. Every week up until this week, we have been down between 40 and 60%, which kind of matches to what he was saying.
That's a really good indicator.
It is a great indicator. Applications are up in my office.
Yeah.
Credit runs are up. Submissions are up. More people are going into contract. And then a lot of people say, and I ask you, like, historically, that December gets slow. I don't see it that way. December, we always get a pop because people are busy with life. They get vacation. And when you're on vacation or you're not at work, you have time to look for the houses. You have the time to sit down and pay attention and look at things and go into contract. So I believe next week is going to be relatively strong as well.
Really?
I do. And and then I think we're going to have a 2-week lull, right? Because of the weirdness where Christmas falls on a Monday and then New Year's and all that stuff. I 1,000% agree with you, Carlos. I think the hotness is coming in January. And I'm gonna go out on a long-winded thing really quick and just say, United Wholesale Mortgage, the owner, Matt Ishbia, also the owner of the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
He's well known for disrupting the market at very key points. And what I mean by that is all of a sudden he will go in there because he has so much money. He'll drop the rates at his company to an uncomfortable level for everybody else. Okay. Wow. And he does it at the right times. He does it when he sees something on the horizon. Yesterday, he made an announcement that really shook up the mortgage industry.
Ooh.
Listen to this. He wanted to create a mini refinance boom. Okay?
Okay.
Mini refinance boom. What he did was he said anybody who has an FHA or VA mortgage who qualifies for a streamlined refinance, which means no income, no employment, just lower your rate, right? He offered 5.75%, 30-year fixed. Okay? You could get that with no points. He offered 3 rates, 5.75, 6, and 6.25, depending on your cost and whatnot for those individuals. And he has pissed off a lot of lenders right now because he has the deep pockets to not worry about these margins, and they don't, right? Wow. And here's why I agree with you on your January thing. He is running this special only through January 31st. Any locks through January 31st, you get 5.75, 6, or 6.25 on a 30-year fixed FHA or VA refi, which means you have to be an existing FHA or VA customer. He did that, in my opinion, because he believes rates are going to drop at the end of January. So what he did was he timed it right. If he had waited till January to do it, he wouldn't get this influx of business because the rest of the world would be able to do it. You follow me?
That's a nice insight right there,
some
Frank.
Insight, guys. So what Carlos said, he thinks is happening in January. The billionaire owner of the Phoenix Suns, who owns UWM, made a huge move this week, and I think that's why.
Just to add to that, you spoke about the people having a pop in December.
Yeah.
Honestly, I disagree with that.
Okay.
But I will say, I disagree from my experience, and again, I don't have as much experience as you, Frank.
No, that's okay.
But I've been a realtor since the beginning of 19. I remember 19 being just very slow, but again, I had just become a realtor that year, right? So I can't really
19 was an average year.
Right. And then after that, it was 20, 21, 22, which has been crazy years in real estate. So December was not slow during those years.
No.
But I do remember December week, the week of that we're about to come about right now, the week of Christmas, being slower or so. But in my listings, I've gotten more showings than all month, than last month.
Just now?
This week.
Give me that.
Like literally this week. So what you're
Right.
saying makes so much sense according to what's happening in our market right now. So guys, we're giving you like live input of what's happening right now. This is no lies. Like literally, as Frank is saying some of what's happening with his business, I'm telling you what's happening with mine and stuff like that. You know, this
is real.
That to me means what's coming is
good.
You know, people are getting ready to buy. What Frank says makes complete sense. People are getting ready to buy. So get on top of it before, you know, it becomes harder, before you can't choose that house that you want and stuff like that.
And the rate, and I think if the rates are going in the right direction, but guys, you have a small window, because when those rates make that move that Carlos and I think is going to happen sometime maybe late January, everybody's going to be your competition.
Right. And think about this. The people that want to sell houses, if they can wait, they're going to wait.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to put their house on the market right now. So what's on the market right now are desperate sales. People that want to sell no matter what. They need the money. So think about the negotiating that you can do with people like that. It's it's open right now for buyers. So take advantage of it.
Let's do it. What's Cardone? What else is Cardone saying?
All right, Cardone, let's go.
Said that many times. I've gotten ragged out on it, but he should step aside, get out of the way, let the market do its
Yes.
thing.
Get out the way.
Interest rates will have to come down in order for pricing to come down.
That's right.
This is actually
Okay, I gotta pause it right there.
contradiction to what most
Okay,
people
I
think,
have
but
no
when
idea.
interest rates come down.
So he's saying that in contradiction to what most people say, and those most people are people like us.
Both of us.
Okay, rates go up, prices come down. Rates go down, prices go up. I mean, besides that, you have inventory and demand, right? Like, if you don't have those things going on, then maybe the prices will go down as rates go down as well. But other than that, if people are active on the market, rates go down, prices are gonna go up. It's like
called supply and demand.
Right. I do not understand why he said this. I'd be interested in having him in the show and interviewing him to truly understand what does he mean by that.
I think
because
he's
I'm
crazy.
confused. Yeah,
I think. Listen, I normally agree with most of what Grant Cardone says.
I'm gonna send him. I'm gonna get to him. I'm gonna like, bro,
get
I
to
said
him
this
because-
about you. Get over here and tell us what
Well,
you mean.
we'll
by
tag
this.
him in this.
Yeah,
my buddy
for sure.
Brad's tied to that guy, so we'll
Let's
get
go.
him.
Get it.
7
Get
degrees
him
of
the
7
video,
bacon. We'll get this in front of you, Cardone, and I think he'll like that. But we're gonna ask you straight up because it doesn't make sense to me if you have more sellers. Yeah, I understand you have more inventory, but that also means you're gonna have a crazy amount of buyers, which means you're gonna have more activity, which drives prices up, not down.
Right.
I don't get it. So stop telling people things are going down. I don't think they're going down.
I agree with that. Okay.
Mortgage applications will go up, and people will start selling their homes.
Well, the World Economic Forum had this famous commercial where they talked about the Great Reset, and they said, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And you're seeing that happen.
Hey, what's your opinion on
You're
that,
saying,
man?
Socialism.
Okay.
You will own nothing and be happy?
Do you feel like that's what's happening right now?
Listen, I cannot figure out what's going on in our government except for that. There's only one reason that you are doing what you're doing because you want socialism. You want government control.
Exactly.
You don't want people to own something. You don't want them to have opinions. What's the other reason?
Yeah, it's a constant. To me, is the fight between evil and good, right?
100%.
You could take it to the Bible. You could take it to wherever
Yeah.
you want. It's simple, guys. Like, do you want to be an owner or do you want to pay rent the rest of your life? Like, these people are trying to make you a renter for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
How does that sound? Do you want people to grow? Do you want more people in the world? Do you want to control the people in the world?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like it's going on.
So
in
if you
America
want
for the
everybody to
first
be a
time.
renter, who are the owners?
Right?
Oh, wait. Is it the government who's telling you to be a renter?
That's right.
Is it the people in power? Come on.
That's right.
Or
Come
from
on.
Cardone.
Let's be smart. I know my people in Florida are smart. We got this.
Yeah, we do.
But outside of state, let's be smart.
Come
Just
to
saying.
Florida.
Or come to Florida, yeah.
Renter Nation, I say it's by design. Explain what you mean by it.
The rents in this country, the average rent, as much as people complain about them, we have 12,000 units. The average rent's about $1,800. And as much as they complain about it, the mortgage on a similar home in that same neighborhood would be double that. Plus insurance.
I don't agree
I
with
don't
that
agree
either.
either. I don't know what neighborhood he's in.
Yeah, I don't know where he's investing, but I don't. At least in my market, that is not the numbers that'll double. That's crazy.
No, not true at all.
Crazy numbers for them to be double that.
Sorry, Cardone. That's not what happened in here in Florida.
Okay.
Mortgage
Glad we're on the
insurance
same page.
on the mortgage itself. So it's unaffordable for people to own a home today. And that means you will rent, you will literally own nothing and be happy about it.
And guys, look, I don't mean to like crash down on Cardone here. I hate false information. You cannot say things like it's impossible for people to buy houses today. I got people buying houses right now.
Of course.
Maybe they're a little bit more skeptical. Maybe they ask more questions, but they're doing it, and it's not impossible. It's they're doing it on regular incomes. Now, are you gonna get the house of your dreams?
No.
Like, come on now. Let's be serious. If you're making the money to buy the $1 million house of your dreams, then go for it. But when you start in real estate, just start small. Start with a house that makes sense for you and your family and your situation in the moment, and move on. when people in the media say it's impossible, they're making it impossible for people to buy. Yeah, they're trying to, but it's not impossible yet. I think impossible would mean we'll be out of a job.
I want to redefine exactly, and we're not, right? And I want to redefine correction, because I have said this for a long time, and this happened during COVID. Is when all the prices started going crazy. People are like, "Oh my God, it's crazy unaffordable right now." And we were actually at the time talking about beach real estate, and I said I believe that the Tampa Bay area, Florida area, Central Florida beaches, they did go through a great reset. Okay, I don't know if I call it correction, but I believe especially our waterfront property and just the cost of living here in Tampa has been way too low compared to other places in the country. I mean, you look at waterfront in the rest of the country, you could get into a beachfront condo a few years back for $300,000-$400,000. I mean, you can't touch that anywhere in the country. So what have we done? We've reset to a more reasonable level. Here's where I think we will see a correction. I think people, not only what you said, they won't be able to get the house of their dreams, they won't be able to get the house of their dreams in the location of their dreams, right? So we reset. Yeah. Tampa is now becoming where we are is becoming a more expensive market, where I think it should have been already. So it is happening, yes. So what does this mean? You might have to move to Spring Hill or Plant City. You have to go. You might have to go to Georgia. I had a good friend move to Georgia recently, Alpharetta. He has the house of his dreams, land, everything he's always wanted in Alpharetta, not in Tampa. Right. So correction, maybe it corrects where you live.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's still cheap real estate in other places.
Yeah, good point there for sure.
Now, the apartment complexes that are being built today provide such crazy great amenities that it is actually, for new generations of people, it's actually an alternative.
I do agree
coming from
that.
A guy who owns apartments.
Yeah. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And that came to my head as soon as I thought, because remember, he doesn't push residential.
That's right.
He pushes commercial.
That's right. That's right.
Is this a sales pitch by a billionaire?
Guys, look at who we have here, guys. Pay attention, okay? Open your eyes. Listen, okay? This is not the news. This is the real stuff right here. What's going on in the market right here. That's exactly what he did. It's so obvious. It's so obvious.
And by the way, I have a new apartment complex going up in Jacksonville, Miami, and Tampa Bay.
Oh, man. Guys, no, listen.
I haven't watched this, by the way. This is the first time I'm watching this.
I'm just going to say, it's true that apartments have better amenities.
Yeah.
But you're paying for those amenities. You have an HOA at some of them that are extremely expensive. The point is that at the end of the day, a house is not for all these crazy amenities. You can build that later, or you could get a bigger house later. The house is for you. It's so that you don't have to share it with nobody else. So you can actually have privacy in your property, in your home. So it's very different. When you're gonna have kids, good luck living in one of those apartments. It's annoying. It's not a good place to raise your children. You need a backyard. You need dirt right there. You don't need to be going downstairs to go. It's a home is for a family. Yes, a lot of young people are gonna rent apartments,
of course,
but
that's what they're for.
But they shouldn't. Yeah. I'll be the first one to say, if you're making the right income at a young age, buy a property.
It is a stepping stone to get you to the next one. You buy a property when you're young, you have equity, then you get into the next one when you have kids.
Dude, you get so many options. We've talked about it.
Actually live someplace for 10 or 24 months at a time rather than hunker down for 30 years.
Yeah. Well, these hedge funds and private equity firms.
Like buying a house means you're going to be hunkered down for 30 years.
Come on. No, it doesn't.
Rentals, and we're seeing, as you said, less and less people owning their home, which always was the American dream.
And this is...
Go ahead. Last thought.
Yeah, I just want to
see if she corrects his name.
We're entering the greatest real estate correction in my lifetime. It will not include single-family homes, but it will include office, which we're already seeing that damage, and we're going to see it across the entire apartment complex. It's going to be
he's making adjustments for sure.
Individuals, regular, everyday people to actually grab trophy real estate from institutions. This has never happened in this country. It's going to be at epic.
Let's see how they do with the name.
All right. Great information. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, and Merry Christmas.
Oh, she avoided it. So we'll leave it on this with Grant. He's a commercial developer. I agree with the last thing he said, that there will be a major opportunity for everyday people, investors, to pick up trophy real estate. But he's talking about commercial trophy real estate. Yeah. And the part I will agree with him on is there has been a major outflux of people like big commercial companies, real estate companies, whatever they are, that have these big 10, 20, 30,000 square foot spaces. you don't need it because people are working from home now. But then you also have a movement like Elon Musk and Twitter and a bunch of other big companies saying, no more remote working. You're coming to the office.
Yeah.
Right. So we shall see.